Hello everybody, welcome to this playthrough for Master Division in the City of Lights tournament. Before we start, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Also sign up on patreon.com/golfclashtommy to get the text guides for, whatever tour you want or for the tournament. Also visit golfclashtommy.com for more Golf Clash related information. And in this playthrough, everybody, we won't be seeing the win that we're having in the tournament because that's impossible to know. No one knows that except for the game makers, and this is actually the first time I do a playthrough for Master Division before the tournament starts. So I hope this is going to help you, and it might even going to help those of you that are playing Tour 11 at the moment, or maybe are dipping your toes into Tour 11 and want to get familiar with the Parc de Paris. Parc de Paris is a tough course, and I'm gonna give you like two options on two different wins on hole 2. Hole 7 gonna give you 2 different wins there as well. So it's gonna be a lot of good content here, and do not hesitate to make a comment in the comment section below. If you're watching this one as a premiere, then you can make a comment in the chat and I will be there helping you out. So the video here is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. So let's go with hole number 1. The drive, 10% downhill, and we're going to play with around 5 to 6 bars of topspin combined with as much side spin to the right possible. The only thing we're focusing about now is to get the ball over the rough without having the ball to clip the rough, and obviously without having the ball going too far and rolling into the sand. You see, we're getting into overpower here, and I would say, when we do have a headwind, that's kind of something that we cannot stay away from, because we do not want to use max topspin. We do want to use 5 to 6 bars, and then we, if so, have to compensate with overpower with the rest that we do have. The ball gets over nicely to the fairway, and now we do have a shot for the pin. And here it's two ways. It's either that we do go with the backspin on the downhill slope by the green. Using the B52 here does not really make that possible, as we do not really have that good backspin. So minimum 6 bars of backspin, which is a maxed out Goliath, or it is a Saturn, which has even more, obviously. If you do not want to play this type of shot, you bounce before the rough and the bunker for the ball to jump over to fall down towards the pin. Second shot, 10% extra there as well. And when it comes to this hole, there will be an opportunity obviously for an eagle, but if we have to lay up and cannot go for green in 1, this is gonna be a tricky one. Hole number 2, and now you're gonna see me playing 1 in headwind and 1 in side wind. And here with headwind, we play on the right side using as much backspin to the left, backspin as possible, combined with side spin to the left. The difference that we're doing here now is that we actually are not adjusting for 20% elevation. We are adjusting for 0. So minimum distance with 0% elevation, which is going to take us bouncing further back down. But that's, already on this something that we know. That's why we're using 0, because we otherwise won't be bouncing that far back and the ball would go long. 1 ball of curl, then that's gonna be, that's gonna be close. But headwind, it's basically just to take yourself to the green and have an easy putt. Sidewind, 20% extra with the sniper, red ring by the rough line. And here, as you can see, we're playing with 5 and a click backspin. I would say that going with 5 bars, playing with 5 and a click is always hard to replicate. 5 bars backspin, half a bar of side spin to the right in this example. And if we would be having more of an absolute straight crosswind, I would consider removing the half a bar of side spin, and then obviously the more towards tailwind we would be having, the more side spin I then would go with. 5 bars of backspin in this example, maximum distance plus a 20% over adjustment. Gonna come in close, and another day that would have dropped. Hole number 3, par 5, and here I'm having a power 4 ball. I would strongly advise you to play with a power 4 or a power 5 ball here to give you the distance both for the drive but also for the second shot. Now when we do have a little bit of tailwind, we're going to use the fairway just on top of the bunker. So the thing that I'm gonna do is that I'm going to play max distance with a 10% over adjustment, and then I'm going to push up my target one ring towards the pin. The reason I push up my target there is because I do want to compensate for the distance that we don't really have with our drive. That's why I said, you know, a power 5 ball could actually be even better than we don't have to push up anything if we get this type of wind in the tournament. For the second shot, we're going to under adjust -5%. And here it's basically two ways. We can either, if we do not gain enough distance with our drive, then we will have to just bounce our ball up towards the pin, just like a normal approach. If we would be having like a tailwind here, or we would be getting like, let's say we have a much better drive, that we have maybe 10, 15, 20 yards extra, then we can actually use the back of the green, which has an amazing funnel. And then we can use a backspin approach with the Guardian and then get it actually in the hole in many of the occasions. The only problem is though, we do need the distance for the drive. This shot comes in and it gets deadly close. Another day that would have dropped as well. Tough hole to get an albatross on, so consider hole number 3 just as a pure eagle hole. Hole number 4, here we only have with a little bit of tailwind. I'm gonna try to explain headwind as well real quick. 1.5 bar backspin, max side spin to the right. Now the wind is very low, and here we would be might better to play with 1 bar of backspin instead. But generally with tailwind, 1.5 bar backspin is what we do want. And with a kingmaker in a tournament, we have a minimum 10.5 miles per hour. Maximum distance with a 20% over adjustment, and I do want us to have the white ring by the rough line to the left. Now we're too much to the right, so the great shot actually help us there to get towards the pin. If you do have a headwind for hole number 4, you use a club with a good amount of backspin that has minimum 6 bars of backspin, move it up to the fringe, use the compressed ball guideline that you're gonna get with headwind and aim for the pin. Hole number 5, and now it's also funnel time. You know, we all love this funnel that we're gonna come to by the green. But first, the drive, 10% downhill, 1-0. We go with 5 to 6 bars of topspin with as much side spin to the right possible. No curl. And we are going to, in the end, drop down into the water. So I would maybe consider going with, you know, a little bit of overpower, or if I'm not in complete max distance, I need to push up my target around 1 ring to compensate for the loss of distance. Shot number 2. Now we're going to play for the island there, or like the fairway pad, or whatever we can call it. Here I'm trying to find the funnel, but I'm way too much to the left here, so I'm getting a very glitchy ball guideline. So I would consider here going more to the right, so I'm not gonna get this glitchy ball guideline. I'm actually gonna get a ball guideline where I can follow and where I can move back and forth and still have the ball guideline in the hole. So we are too much to the left, but playing this type of shot, as you're gonna see now, is going to give you a good opportunity nonetheless. Maximum distance, it's not, so we're gonna play this one more towards minimum or medium distance with a 10% over adjustment. And as you can see, this roll here is very nicely, and we get this one in the hole. This hole is going to bring us a lot of eagles around the community and the players in Master, as that funnel is very forgiving and very good to have. Make sure you hit perfect though. Hole number 6, the drive, 20% extra, 2-0. 2-0, and we're gonna play with, once again, 5 to 6 bars of topspin, max side spin to the left, and then we, in the end here, I'm using a little bit of curl. I don't really have to use curl here, but I think it's nice to have. I like to great proof it if I hit great right, as I'm doing here now, and also because we do have the crosswind that we're having. Getting it over nice and easy leaves us up for an approach towards the pin. I can't say this is an opportunity because this is a very tough approach, but it's still going to be the better of them two. Like the thing that I'm thinking about is, like, let's say if you would be playing on the right side and then to the left side here now, then it's way better to play on the left side. So I'm using, I haven't really decided for the spin adjustment here for the second shot because it's so dependent on the wind. We do want though the ball to just roll up towards the green and use the back of the green to fall back down towards the pin. Unfortunately, I hit great left pretty bad here, and the ball will come up to the green here and fall down as I want to, but obviously due to the great shot, I'm not even gonna be close. Hole number 7, here you're gonna see a double approach when it comes to the first a layup approach, then a regular curl shot where we're gonna go and give ourselves a very good opportunity for the eagle. 10% extra for the drive, and I'm using the quarterback here for accuracy, for ball guideline, and that is something that you definitely can do even in Tour 11. Doesn't have to be just in a tournament. Max side spin with a little bit of top spin, let the ball roll down there. You can move the target further up and use backspin. Once again, you can use many different type of setups here. It's only important that you, in that case, change your spin adjustment to mirror or reflect the way that you do want to play. Second shot, 20% extra, and we're playing with a long iron. And here I like to go, depending on the wind here, with the side spin. Normally I use a lot of side spin to the left because I do not want to play close to the bunker or to the rough. But here I'm using only 1.5 bar backspin, side spin, and a little bit of backspin. With this type of wind, we do need a little bit more backspin, as you will notice. So 1 to 1.5 bar backspin here would be good. And as I said, 20% extra. This is going to give us an opportunity. And once again, I can't hit perfect. So a great shot would take us to the left. It's gonna fall down towards the pin, but obviously with a great left, it's not gonna be close. Now, a more aggressive play here with hole number 7. We play with the Apocalypse as it gives us curl. We do need the curl. Here in the end, I'm gonna play with 3 to 4 bars of top spin. Now we're not having entirely straight tailwind, so therefore I'm going with 4. With a straight tailwind more than 10 miles per hour, I would go with 3 instead. Max side spin to the right, around 50% overpower, and then full curl to the right. And the thing that we're aiming for is the ball to bounce over the water and gain enough distance so we're not having the trees in our way. If we go too short and the trees in our way, that will actually be considered as a very tough save for the birdie. But in the end, now when we make the drive so well, we have a very good opportunity here for the second shot. 10% extra for the approach here. We either go with the wedge or we go with a short iron dunk. For me, I'm gonna go with a short iron dunk because I really don't like to play with a wedge in max distance. But no matter what club we're choosing here, if we're not making the eagle in the tournament when having this opportunity, then that's considered a lost shot. Like, that's basically getting a par on a par 3 in my book. Because if we do get the win that we can get so close, then, we need to play better than I'm doing here. So in the end, getting it close doesn't really cut it when it comes to having that good setup for hole number 7. Hole number 8, 10% extra. You can see that I'm looking a long time for a good landing position here, and I do decide in the end to, after putting the spin, 4 bars back spin, a 5 bar side spin to the left, that I'm gonna look for the plus 10 yard mark and having around half of the red ring. I'm not saying that you can't use the yellow ring or can't use the blue ring. It all has to do with the spin setup that you're using. So in the end, half of the red ring inside the rough, max plus 10. And you might think it looks weird using so much side spin to the left when we're gonna hit straight up towards the pin. But the only reason for that is that we're gonna get a natural bounce to the right. So we do need to then compensate for the push. So therefore we're using side spin to the left. Last but not least, 0%. Nothing extra for the drive here on hole number 9. I'm using 7 bars of top spin, but I would say take off a bar or like a bar or 2. And try to rely on your skill of hitting overpower, because if we do get the roll like shown, that's gonna be a tough one to control. It's gonna be an inconsistent way of playing that hole, and that is not something that we do want. Sure, we still need to go with overpower now, but I would rather consider going with the full overpower, less topspin, and then get a more consistent wrestle than trying to go with less overpower, more topspin, and we have a big risk of getting the ball to roll into the rough or into the sand. Don't forget the curl. We do want to get as close to the top left corner of the fairway as possible. Second shot here, and now you can see a mistake that I made not using the Cataclysm here. The sniper will not cut it, and we do need to change and make sure that we do have the correct bag for this one. And in the end, I'm gonna use 5 to 6 bars of topspin and gonna play in between the two, you know, brighter trees. You can see the red tree, or like, yeah, whatever, you know, the tree there on top that I'm aiming towards now. In between the two trees on the right of that tree is where we do want to bounce the ball to roll up from the rough. Then we have an easy wedge, or we have an easy putt for the eagle. If you push for the albatross too hard here, you're gonna lose the eagle more times than you're gonna get it, because this is not an albatross hole. So we play this one for the eagle and we take it from there. Everybody, thank you so much for watching this playthrough for Master. Feels a little bit weird actually making a playthrough for Master before the tournament starts, as we don't know the wind, and you know, it's, you know, I like to add that content here before. Please let me know if you like to have a playthrough for Master before the tournament starts, or you think it's enough to have it just during the tournament. If you do want to get the text guides, once again, you sign up on patreon.com/golfclashtommy. Visit golfclashtommy.com for more Golf Clash related content. The video here is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. Good luck in the City of Lights tournament.